So I started my day at 3 a.m. and we left the house around 3:15. My mom drove me to the airport, which she did not like getting up at 3 a.m. to do, but I did the same for her last year when she went to Las Vegas. So she owed me. Also, I sold my car to her. Well, to my brother. So if she didn't want to lose the car to the parking lots down there, she had no choice. Our first flight was at 6:30 a.m., which was not very fun considering that I probably slept about an hour that night because I was so anxious about missing the flight. But then we ended up landing in Chicago, which, as you can see, had a really cool art installation with like lights and a whole like. I love those moving sidewalk things, even though they don't really help because you're still walking while you're on them. We were there for about an hour or two layover, which I also didn't sleep through. And then we ended up taking another flight to Toronto. Toronto, I didn't get any footage from because we were rushing. We only had about an hour and our plane was a little bit delayed, so we really had about 30 minutes to get across the airport to the right gate. And of course, use the bathroom, prepare for our next flight. That flight, I think I slept through. I fall asleep very easily. But that was also a pretty good flight. Following that, we ended up going on our last flight, our last leg of the trip from Toronto to Japan. And that flight was 13 hours. We got unlucky in that I did not get seats next to each other because we just booked a little bit too late. But the flight wasn't too bad for me. My friend, however, was sitting next to screaming children the whole time. I got lucky and got sat next to two very nice gay couples who did not talk to me the entire trip. Upon landing in Tokyo, we immediately got lost. We had to go get a lot of different errands around the airport. For example, instead of getting a SIM card, we got a Wi-Fi router thing, which long run works out good because I'm still in college right now. I still have to do online work and upload, and of course, upload these videos. And then, of course, we had to run around and get other things like the train tickets, which normally I just Uber or get taxis because public transportation without someone to guide me first is terrifying. But because I wasn't in charge of transportation, I didn't have a choice. We ended up going up and down these escalators a bunch of times. But it was a really cool airport because at the top floor, there was this Edo-themed village, which was, like a usual tourist trap thing where they have a bunch of stuff that like screams Japan at you. But the architecture and everything was pretty cool. We also didn't take a taxi because they're pretty expensive. And so far today, and I'm saying this from our hotel room, I only spent about $70 and 20 of that was just from me paying for Wi-Fi in the flight because I wanted to do homework on the way here. So for our first day, I think we did pretty well. But following the airport, we ended up being on a lot of trains. We switched trains, 3 or 4 times, and did quite a bit of walking to get to our hotel. This was because we picked one that was a business hotel, so not like a tourist hotel, not a hostel, someplace that a businessman would go to stay overnight. So it's nothing glamorous. Our hotel room is very tiny. It's about the size of a walk-in closet. But since, we're only here to sleep, not a big issue. So we actually ended up coming a little bit too late to get any dinner at any restaurants tonight because Japan is surprisingly closed pretty early. There doesn't seem to be any nightlife over here. We passed by one restaurant/bar, but it was very small and had a capacity of about 10 people maximum. So we ended up just getting food from the nearby 7-Eleven, which actually had pretty good stuff. I got onigiri and a seafood noodle cup, which I still haven't figured out how to do the hot water machine downstairs, but I will eventually. I also got a Dandy Cool clear cooler alcoholic drink. I have no idea what flavor it's supposed to be besides vaguely citrus, but I am excited to try it. And of course to give you guys a better tour of the 7-Eleven and convenience stores tomorrow because they really put the ones in America to shame. And finally, we made it to our hotel, which, like I said, is not exactly in the center of Japan, but it's close-ish to the Skytree. It's in a decent area, and it's close enough to a station that it's not a hassle. The biggest issue I really had today was just lugging around luggage from the airport all the way back here. And that's because my luggage wasn't just the things I brought for this trip, it was everything I'm bringing with me when I move back to Cambodia in about 2 weeks. So if I was doing just as like a trip and I was coming home afterwards, I think you probably could get away with just bringing a backpack or a carry-on size suitcase. There are laundromats everywhere. Most hotels have laundry services. And of course, there's a lot of thrift stores and other places to get cheap stuff from. So yeah, this is our first day in Japan. We landed at around 4:30, and the trouble of getting through rush hour and getting all the way back to the hotel took us until about 10 o'clock for our day to be over. But I'm super excited to see what tomorrow brings, especially because tomorrow we will actually get to see Japan and not just trains and empty streets. So yeah, if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, let me know and I'll be sure to record what I can for you. See you guys next time. Bye.